Man, I know. Man, after watching yesterday's game, I was happy to believe that we're where we are. On the other hand, for Bears fans, man, I was just watching videos of Justin Fields draft reactions by Bear fans, and ah, boy, they're hilarious. I mean, yeah, he could get better, but I kind of feel bad for the Bears, honestly, at this point. But better than said, we're 6-1. We're in a really good place right now, and we got a lot to talk about.
Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, about now, about now, about now.
What's popping, y'all? Cloudboy Bales, it's your man. Anyways, welcome to another episode of West Coast Sports. Of course, this is my analysis that I'm making up for last night. I obviously could not make a video because I was very busy. I had a fun weekend in Indianapolis performing for obviously my college. Go to UWEC. This is my final year, senior year. Got to perform at BOA, do an exhibition for their marching band or whatever. I get it. Marching band people can like sports too. It's okay. We're good with this. But of course, I didn't get to really get good service on the game because I was driving. I was on a bus home, so of course I was watching the game on a bus, and I didn't get back till pretty late. So yeah, I didn't really have the time to make a video last night. So that's why I'm making it right now. So yeah. So anyways, Aaron Rodgers, he looked pretty good, I'd say. I feel like he's turning into his MVP form, which I think is something that is great to see. But we saw some guys really step up when they needed to. Anyways, Rodgers, he approaches MVP form, which I think is, something of a good thing, but we haven't seen the best of the offense yet. I mean, we're 6-1 without Deepak, Marcus Valdes-Scantling, Jair Alexander, Zadarius Smith, and we haven't even seen our best football. I've watched them, and I feel like they could do so much more. But I don't know if anything's holding them back, but it'll be interesting. Rodgers, did whatever he could, and we have so much room to really improve. Now, today's game MVP goes to Rashawn Gary. I think he definitely stepped up and got some huge plays defensively. Obviously, we were without Preston Smith for the first time in his career. So, Gary, we were already short on defense regardless in this game, but that was good. Gary had a great game. Also, we saw Allen Lazard really step up. Robert Tonyan finally got me points on fantasy, even though I'm still going to lose this week because I have nobody, because everybody I have is on bench this week because of bye, but whatever. Adrian Amos also stepped up, and Rasul Douglas, who has been the number 2 corner, has also stepped up. One of the best things I think we saw in yesterday's game was the throwback uniforms. I think were pretty dope. I mean, the green and the green with the yellow helmets, it looked alright. I liked it. I had good vibes out of it, so I can at least say something. Red zone defense. Now, here was the big reason why we won this game. Now, when we were up 21-7, Washington was in the red zone 3 straight times and came away with no points. 2 of them were failed fourth down conversions. Another one was an interception. And we saw D-line pressure, something that we were looking for all year. No one blitzes. No one does any of that stuff. And that's a big, big, big problem, because you want to be able to see what you got. Now, the worst thing that we did see, which I think could be a little problem going into next, well, looking at it, 3 days, because we play on Thursday. Thursday we saw Heineke. Sorry, I was looking at updates. Heineke was running wild. He had a lot of rushing yards, and the field goal protection was just awful, and fumbles on the offense were a huge issue. They also had a lot of fumbles too, but this was just something. And on offense, of course, we're not all gas yet, and I really want to see them do a lot more, because I really trust what we got. I mean, our defense really stepped up when it's needed, which is why I obviously want to pick that as my ideas. So it's just crazy how this has happened. On the other hand, we play Arizona and on Thursday for Thursday Night Football in Arizona. They're the only undefeated team in the NFL right now. This is going to be a very tough game. Arizona looks very, very dangerous. Kyler Murray looks very dangerous. They have a very good offense. DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk, Rondale Moore, AJ Green. Now they have Zach Ertz as their tight end. The running game, Chase Edmonds and James Conner, pretty decent as well. Also, their defense has J.J. Watt, Budda Baker. And their defense is a lot underrated because, I mean, you got to give credit to everybody. Sorry, my stats aren't not loading, which is why I'm kind of a little all over the place. But let me look up the stats on my phone because I'd have to go over them. But anyways, on the Packers side, Aaron Rodgers, he went 27 out of 35, 274 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 carries for 17 yards. Aaron Jones at 6 for 19, not a big workload from him, and not really a day our running game did much, but we were going up against Washington's defense, and they have one of the best rushing defenses. On the receiving end, Devontae Adams had 6 catches for 76 yards and a touchdown. Robert Tonyan, 4 for 63 and a touchdown. Alan Lazard had 5 for 60 and a touchdown. Mercedes Lewis, 3 for 31. Randall Cobb, 3 for 22. Aaron Jones had 5 for 20. And Dylan had a fumble, but it's okay. It was already winning, so it didn't matter. And then you also had DeAndre Campbell, had 13 tackles. 10 of them were solo on his own. He's just been a massive player on defense. Rashawn Gary had 7 total tackles. 3 of them were solo, including his 2 sacks. We also saw Kingsley Keke get 1.5 sacks, and Dean Lowry got the other 0.5. Including a tackle for loss for Keke. And Chandon Sullivan was the one who got the interception for the Packers. Mason Crosby was 1 on 2 for the day on field goals, and Corey Bolowitz had 3 punts for a total of 139 yards. One of them punted inside the 20-yard line. On the other hand, Taylor Heineke he did pretty decent. 25 out of 37, 268 yards, a touchdown, and an INT. Also 10 carries for 95 yards. He was running all over us. Antonio Gibson had 14 carries for 51, and J.D. McKissick, their other running back, had 4 for 22. On the receiving end, J.D. McKissick, who also plays receiver, has 4 for 34. Terry McLaurin, he looked pretty dangerous, 7 catches for 122 yards. Ooh, boy. And a touchdown. Ricky Seals-Jones, 6 for 51. Adam Humphries, 3 for 36. And, of course, and Taylor Heineke also had 1 fumble. They fumbled a total of 4 times. Of course, one of them only was a turnover. Landon Collins led the team with 7 tackles. And I guess that's all I can really say about it. So that's that. So, anyways, big game on Thursday against the Arizona Cardinals. We could possibly hand them their first loss. It's possible. Or if Kyler Murray can do what Kyler Murray does, it'll be a hard game. I think this will be a great Thursday night football game. Of course, it's unfortunate that it's Thursday night because we have to listen to Troy Aikman and Joe Buck, but it's okay because, you know what? Hopefully there's a World Series game. Actually, no, that can't happen. But regardless, I am excited because we have a lot of tougher games going on, so I feel like it's going to be great to see how we handle against good competition. Now, I know we have the one loss against the Saints, but I'm not going to really say much about that because that was the first game of the season, and lots change in the second half of the season, so we have a lot of good games, and I'm really excited to see how the Packers do and if the offense can really get themselves to a higher level. No word on any players coming back from IR. Obviously, Bakhtiari's been practicing. MVS has not been brought up from IR, and no word on if Jair needs surgery or not. So, but and also Whitney Mercilus was signed by the Packers. I didn't even know this, so that's crazy. And then another issue, we just found out that Joe Barry has COVID, so that's gonna be interesting. But shout out to Joe Barry. He's actually doing pretty good for us as a defensive coordinator. I think a lot better than I anticipated. So that's pretty good. That's a pretty good start. Really, obviously, if something happens, then he'll get blamed. But I really appreciate that he's doing the best that he can. So I give him so much credit. But of course, we're gonna have his play calls, so someone's gonna probably step in for this game. So that'll be great. So, anyways, we'll talk y'all soon. Of course, I'll be making a video in a couple of days, so, and I will be just chilling watching football on Sunday. And it's Halloween, so that's fun. So, anyways, it's your man Club Boy Biz. Stay tuned for more updates. Go Pack Go. We'll see you next time.